guys, welcome back to yoga. We've had quite a hiatus, so we're gonna make it a little bit easier getting back into it. Always remember, make sure those feet are always together, pinkies all the way down to big toes, belly button pulled in, hips tucked under, chest lifted, lifting up out through the top of your head. Okay? Inhale, bring those arms up. Clasp your hands, squeeze the back of your ears. Lift that chest up and reach over to the side, really pressing out through that hip, reaching up through those fingertips, scooping your bottom shoulder. Getting that nice side stretch. And inhale, come up to the center. Exhale, the middle. Inhale, bring those arms up again, switch your grip. Squeeze the back of your ears and pull those shoulder blades down away from your ears. Make sure those hips are tucked in. Inhale, lift that chest up. Reach over. Really pressing up through that hip, keeping your hips square. Reaching out through those fingertips, scooping that bottom shoulder so your chest is open to the sky. And take your gaze toward your fingertips. And nice big inhale. Exhale, back down to the center. Inhale, bring those arms up. Exhale, bend and reach, really extending out through that tailbone. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Palms on the ground. Now again, we've been out for a little while, so perhaps you've got your knees bent a little bit. That's okay. Just palms on the ground, forehead to your shins, standing forward bend. Really get that belly on your thighs. Reach around, clasping your calves with your forearms. Grabbing your ankles, rotating that forehead towards your shins, and lifting your tailbone with each exhale. Always making sure to keep those shoulder blades pulled down your spine, lengthening out through your tailbone, lengthening out through the backs of your legs. And release your ankles. Sweep those arms back up. Exhale the middle. And inhale, bring those arms up. Exhale, bend and reach. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Look forward. Jump back to plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Make sure those shoulders are pulled back. Chest is out. Looking up. Only your palms, the tops of your feet are connected to the ground. Tuck those toes under and push up to downward dog. Drive those heels down, tailbone up, pushing the ground away with your palms. Keeping those fingertips spread, arms nice and strong, elbow pits rotated forward. Look forward, jump your feet to your hands, big toes are touching. Inhale up, exhale the middle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend and reach. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Look forward. Jump back to plank, keeping that core nice and tight in that plank. Chaturanga. That up dog. Look up to the sky. Keep those chests open. And back to downward dog. Remember, in your downward dog, you've got your feet hip width apart. Pressing down through the balls of your feet, driving those heels down, pushing that tailbone up, feeling that stretch in the backs of my legs. And look forward. Jump your feet to your hands. Big toes touching. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale the middle. Inhale up. Bend and reach. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Look forward. Jump back to plank. Chaturanga. And downward dog. Remember, if you need to adjust your feet so that they come forward just an inch or two, if that's more comfortable for you in downward dog, that's okay. Making sure you keep those Elbow pits forward, rotating your biceps and triceps toward each other, engaging your lats, pulling your shoulder blades away from your ears, keeping that neck nice and relaxed. And nice big inhale. Exhale, jump forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale, middle. Nice, let's do our split hamstring stretch. Hands on your hips. Step back. Make sure those heels are lined up. Front toes are pointing forward. Back toes are at a 45-degree angle, pointing to the corner of your mat. Hands on your hips to square those hips, keeping your belly button pulled in, keeping this nice and tight, driving down through the balls of your feet to keep those legs nice and strong. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, bend and reach, forehead to your shins. You need to bend your knee just a little bit here, that's okay. And your hand can be anywhere. It can be palms flat on the ground. It can be fingertips, or if you need to grab your ankle, the back of your calf, or even the back of your knee, okay? If you're this high up, we wanna make sure we keep those legs nice and straight, remembering to keep our hips square, and working on walking those hands down our leg until we can eventually get closer to the ground. Actively driving this front hip back and that back hip down so we have a nice flat back. Keeping that core nice and tight. Inhale, bring those arms up. Exhale, step to the middle. Hands on your hips, switch sides. Again, heels lined up. Back toes pointing to the corner of the mat. Front toes pointed forward. Always keeping those toes nice and spread out. Pinky toe all the way down to big toe. Grounding into the ground, driving the big toe down. Heel into the ground as well. Inhale, bring those arms up. Keeping that hip nice and square. Belly button over your thigh. Forehead to your shin. Driving that outside hip down. Front hip back. Nice and flat. Making sure we're not rolling out onto the side of our foot. Some of us that are higher arched have tighter ankles, may roll out to the side. Really work on keeping your ball of your foot connected. Foot nice and flat. Again, if you need to bend your knee just a little bit, that's okay. And nice big inhale. Exhale the middle. Good. Let's turn to the side. Spread those feet nice and wide. Remember, we want our ankles and wrists to be at least the same distance. Your ankles can be a little bit wider, but we don't want them any narrower, okay? We don't want to be swaying our back, sticking our butt out. Pull that belly button in, keeping your core nice and tight. Legs straight, toes forward. Inhale, bring those arms up. Bend and reach, lengthening. Inhale, come to flat back. Exhale, cross those arms. Rest your head on top of your arms, reaching those elbows down to the ground. You need to sway back and forth a little bit here. Feel that length in your lower back. Stretching those elbows down to the ground. Feeling that length in the backs of your legs and your hamstrings. And nice big inhale. Exhale, come to flat back. We're gonna go easy and just do hand right in front of our face. Twist from our belly button. Open up to the side. Remember, keep those palms facing out, shoulder blades pulled back away from our ears, opening that chest up to the side, keeping our legs straight. Nice flat back, always extending from our tailbone out through our top of our head. Looking up to our fingertips, helps with that rotation. And nice big inhale. Exhale, dive back down into the middle. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up to flat back. Opposite palm comes flat on the ground in front of your face. Twist from your belly button. Open up to the other side. Pull that shoulder blade back and away from your ear. Palm faces out. Fingertips reaching up to the sky. Looking up. Pressing down through the palm on that bottom arm. Feeling that extension all the way through your chest. All the way out through your fingertips. Really twisting from your belly button. Nice big inhale. Exhale, dive back to the center. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up to flat back. And again, here you can have your fingertips on the ground. If you are having trouble reaching, you can have your water bottle or a block, something that keeps those legs straight and back flat. From this position, we're going to bend that right knee. Shift that body weight. Keep that body weight back. Knee over your toes. Both feet are connected. This extended leg, your toes pointed forward. This bent leg, your toes are pointed forward. And heels, pinky toes, everything connected. And adjust your arms wherever they need to be so you can feel that stretch in your inner thigh on that extended leg. And inhale, come back up to the center. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come on up. And shift your body weight to the other side. I like to kind of press my elbow into my knee. Make sure it's staying behind my toe. Shift that body weight back. Always remembering to breathe in and out through your nose, nice and smoothly. In through your nose and out through your nose. Come back up to the center. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Ready for everyone's favorite. Inhale, come up to flat back. Turn those heels in, toes out. You might need to walk your feet in a few inches, depending on how long your legs are. With those toes kind of pointed to the corners of your mat, 45-degree angle. Drop those hips. You're going to really tuck your tailbone under. Keep your back nice and straight. Shoulder blades down, lifting out through the top of your tailbone. Pressing those elbows into your knees. Hip opener. Keeping your feet connected. Try not to let your feet sink in on your ankles. Really keep those pinky toes connected. Feet nice and strong. I feel this in my shoulders a little bit. As we all know, my shoulders are tight. Just because one stretch works on a certain part of your body doesn't mean that's always where you feel it. You might feel it somewhere else. And bring those palms back down to the ground or fingertips, whatever you can do. Lift that tailbone. Turn your fingertips for your toes. That's my first one. Toes to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. And exhale. We'll step to the middle. All right. We should be feeling a little bit more warmed up by now. Big toes touching. Inhale, bring those arms up. Exhale, bend and reach. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Look forward. Jump back to plank. Keep that core nice and tight. And chaturanga. Down dog. Bring those big toes together. Drive that right heel straight up to the sky. Foot flexed, arms are straight, pushing the ground away with your palms. Bend that knee. Open those hips up for scorpion. Flexing that foot back toward your head. Opening those hips up to the side. And extend that leg. Rotate back down. Adjust yourself into a downward dog. Take 3 breaths, pushing the ground away. And big toes together. Opposite heel straight up. Flex that foot. Bend your knee. Open those hips up to the side. Think about bringing those heels toward your head. Driving that standing heel down. Keeping your arms nice and strong. Feeling that stretch in your hips. Good. Extend that leg. And bring it back down. And down dog. 3 breaths. Look forward. Jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale in the middle. Inhale up. Bend and reach. Inhale, flat back. And fold. As we get more warmed up, you should get your hands closer and closer to the ground. Palms should be here. If you can keep your back straight and reach farther back toward your feet or even behind your feet, you can do that as well, just as long as we're keeping that nice, long, flat back. Look forward. Jump your feet to your hands. Always shoulders back, nice and strong, core tight in that plank. Elbows into your side, chaturanga. And down dog. I'm going to bring those big toes together so that they're touching again. Bring that right heel straight up. Swing it through to runner. We want those toes forward, in between our hands, knee over our ankle, back leg, heel is lifted, pressing through the ball of our feet. Inhale, keeping that nice low lunge. Knee stays over our ankle, pressing out toward our pinky toe. Inhale, bring those arms up. Bring those hands together in prayer. And rotate. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. Fingertips pointing forward. Twisting and looking to the other side. It's okay if you lose your balance. You can look up to your elbow. And you can also open your arms up here, reaching down for the ground and up to the sky. Either one is all right. Rotate back to the center. Hands back down to the ground. Back to plank. Up to downward dog. 3 breaths. Driving those heels down. Rotating your pinky, big toes toward each other. Ankles toward each other. Big toes touching. Opposite heel straight up. Swing it through to runner. Knee over your ankle. Back heel lifted. Keeping that low lunge. Really squeezing this back glute, feeling it in your hip flexors. Keeping this knee pointing toward our pinky toe. Nice and strong. Lifting those arms up. Pressing into the ball of your foot in that back leg. And looking up to your fingertips. Bring your hands into prayer. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. Twist from that belly button. Either look up to your knee or open up. Keeping that back leg lifted, back heel lifted, leg strong. And rotate back to the center. Arms up. Exhale in the middle. Back to plank. And up to a downward dog. Really driving those heels down. Pushing that tailbone up. And looking forward, shift your feet to your hands, big toes touching. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. And exhale to the middle. Nice. Inhale up. Bend and reach. Flat back. And fold. Look forward. Sweep those arms up into chair. Keeping those knees pressed together. Tailbone back. And that core engaged. If you want to bring your arms out in front here, that's fine as well. Keep that chest lifted. Shoulder blades back. Bring your hands together in prayer. Press those big toes together. Come on up. Balls of your feet. Squeeze your quads and your glutes and your core. Shoulder blades down. Reaching up out through your fingertips. Driving those heels closer together to help keep your balance. And exhale, sink back down. Chest is lifted. Press those palms together. Tailbone back. This is also called awkward pose. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. Twist from that belly button. Open up here, making sure those knees and hips are pointed to the front. Looking up to your fingertip. Really pulling that shoulder blade back. Keeping it out of your ear. Bring those palms together. Rotate back to the center. And again, come all the way up. Pressing those heels together. Core's tight. Squeezing glutes. And that belly button in. Shoulder blades down. Arms are strong. Nice. Exhale back down to the center. Keeping that chest open. Shoulders back. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. Twist from that belly button and open up. As you can see, my hand is not anywhere near the ground. That's okay, I'm still reaching, still twisting, still lifting, opening up the chest. And bring those palms back together. Rotate to the center once more. And last time, all the way up. Really focus on driving those heels toward each other. Helps keep you on the balls of your feet. Shoulders down. Core is tight. Nice. And exhale to the center. Inhale, bring those arms up. Exhale, bend and reach. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Look forward. Jump back to plank. Remember, core tight. Chaturanga. And downward dog. Take 3 breaths here. Each time we go into downward dog, you should feel those heels get a little bit closer to the ground. Really pushing that tailbone up to the sky. Arms are nice and strong. Fingertips are separated and pressing into the ground. Bring those big toes touching. Bring that right heel straight up to the sky. One more time. Swing it through for pigeon. Since we've been out for a while, pigeon might be pretty intense. I know it is for me. I've been doing a lot of sitting, doing more running, so my hips are tight. Remember, this back leg that's extended, your knee is facing the ground, top of your foot is facing the ground, pointing it straight back like an arrow. This front leg, your heel is even with your hip pocket. These toes are rotated toward the front corner of your mat. I'm going to keep those hips square in the center. chest lifted, and then slowly walk it forward. Forehead to the ground. Really shooting this tailbone, this glute, trying to touch it down to the mat behind you. Each time you exhale, feel the tension in your lower back release. It helps if you reach out those fingertips, top of your head onto the mat. I usually like to hold this one for 10 breaths. We'll go half that time today. Slide those hands up and lift your torso. And that outside hand up front for balance. Flex that foot. Reach back and grab your ankle. Pull that heel straight into your rear end. Okay, it's like a quad stretch when you're standing on one leg. Keep those hips square to the front. Pull that ankle into your rear end. You can keep this hand up front here for balance, or you can reach it out in front of you. If you're feeling particularly awesome today. Bring that hand down. Release your ankle. Push yourselves back up into a plank. And then back in a downward dog. 3 breaths. We'll rotate those ankles toward each other, pressing into the balls of your feet. Bring those feet together, big toes touching. Opposite heel straight up, really lifting from that hip. Swing that other leg through the opposite side. Those of you with tighter hips, remember you can inch this back leg back. It's generally what I do a little bit. I inch those toes back so I can get more space here in my hips. Knee flat, top of your foot flat, heel in your hip. Relax those glutes. Take a big breath in and relax those glutes down to the ground. Walk it out. Forehead to the ground. And 5 breaths. Each time you exhale, focus on releasing that tension in your lower back. Feel your hips and your glutes getting closer to the mat. Feeling the length in your lower back. Slide those hands back up. Lift your torso, keeping those hips low. Outside hand up front for balance. Flex your foot. Little T-Rex legs back there. My foot is flexed. Avoiding bringing this leg out. Okay, you shouldn't be able to see the leg on the side. It should be straight back in line. Heel straight to your rear end. Chest is open. Try to rotate that chest as far forward as possible without pulling your leg out of alignment. Again, you can reach up here if you like that stretch. Here. You can also reach behind you. Either way. And release. Come back to plank. And downward dog. 3 nice deep breaths here. And look forward. Jump your feet to your hands. Big toes touching. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale, the middle. We're going to do another standing forward bend. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, bend and reach, lengthening out that spine. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Belly on your thigh. Get that forehead towards your shins. Reach back. Clasp your calves with your forearms. Grab your ankles and lift your tailbone. Keeping that compression. Forehead to your shins. Tailbone lifted. Goal is to have those legs fully extended. Sandwiched in half, belly on your thighs, forehead to your shins. Anywhere along that continuum is good, as long as we're getting that hamstring stretch. Keeping our shoulder blades pulled down our spine toward our tailbone, away from our ears. Release your ankles. Sweep those arms up. Exhale the middle. Inhale up. Bend and reach. Flat back and fold. Look forward. Jump back to plank. Chaturanga. And down dog. Here in down dog, you guys want to walk your feet forward about 3 or 4 inches. You want your heels to be, your hips to be nice and high. Your heels may be almost touching the ground. I know mine are almost totally flat. Drop your elbows, so that your elbows and your palms are in line with your feet, and push the ground away for dolphin. Neck is relaxed, but your chin is tucked. Tailbone up, heels down, really using those forearms. And look forward. Drop your knees. Sink back to child's pose. Remember in child's pose to drive your heels back, hips back towards your heels. Arms are extended, fingertips are spread out, forehead to the top of your mat. Let's go ahead, come on up to all fours. Let's get a little cat-cow action. I'm going to actually turn to the side of this cat-cow. Okay, so you can see how when we start, got my palms underneath my shoulders, got my knees underneath my hips, and my back is nice and flat. This is the neutral flat back position. Inhale, arch your back, chest out, pulling those shoulder blades away. And exhale, round out, pull that belly button in, tuck your chin, pressing out through the balls of your hands, all the way out through your shoulder blades, rounding out that back. Inhale forward. We're massaging our spine, we're massaging our abs. And exhale. Think about separating each one of your vertebrae. Pull those shoulder blades out and away from each other. Inhale. Always pulling those shoulders back, really arching your tailbone. Exhale, roll. Really pulling that belly button in, trying to see your belly button, tuck those hips in. That nice big rounding out of your back. Feel the stretch in your middle back. And number 4, inhale forward, nice deep breath through your nose. And exhale. Really pressing out through your palms, keeping those elbow pits forward. And last one, inhale. And exhale. Tuck, tuck, tuck those hips. Pull that belly button in. Round out your spine, chin to your chest. Nice. And relax. Coming back to that neutral position. Make sure when we're in this position that we're not just letting it all go. Keep that belly button pulled in. Keep a nice strong stance. Okay? We're going to do 5 reach under and ups. Okay? That's for that mid-back mobility. So starting in that nice neutral position, reach that arm out to the side. Scoop it under. Resting on that shoulder. Reaching out through your fingertips. Pause here. Twist over your belly button and reach up. Really lifting that arm. Looking to your arm. Pausing at the top. Doing 5 of these. Always pausing at the bottom. Pausing at the top. Keeping that core engaged as you do. Trying to keep your body weight centered here over that bottom arm. This is 3. And 4. Making sure you relax. Kind of fold your torso over your arm. And 5. Nice. Okay, switch. See, I really got twisted on that one. Try to keep those feet set. Keep your body in line. Arms out to the side. Reach under. And twist up. And 2. Relax under that shoulder. Reach up for the sky. 3. 4. And last one. 5. Nice. Let's come back to sitting. Got crazy hairs flying everywhere. Remember, with those sit bones connected. When you're sitting here, you can sit your legs crisscross. You can lotus, folding your feet up to your thighs. You can half lotus, or you bring one up and the other one down. You can have them here like this. Any of those are acceptable. Okay, and just relax those arms onto your knees. Pull those shoulder blades back, lifting up through the top of your head. Let's get 5 neck rolls to each side. Chin to your chest. Look over to the right. And draw that nice slow circle over to the left. To the right. Remembering to really keep those shoulder blades pulled down and away from your ears. Taking the time to really draw that slow circle so you can feel all the muscles really at the tops of your shoulders and your traps, all the way up through those muscles in the back of your neck up to the base of your skull. Making sure we're not collapsing in. It's easy to do as you're feeling relaxed. Continuing to keep your spine nice and tall. And as I've talked, I lost count. I'll do one more just for good measure. And there we go. Good. Okay. Bring those feet together for butterfly. Bring your heels in and walk the booty towards your feet. Either way, whichever one gets those heels as close as they can. Shoulders back, lifting up out through the top of our head, taking those elbows and pressing down onto our thighs. If you've got extra long arms, you might be able to press down onto your knees. No way T-Rex is getting there, so I use my thighs. Really trying to drive those knees so that they're touching the ground, okay? We don't want to push so forcefully that we feel sharp, intense pain, okay? I just feel a little stretching, but nothing uncomfortable. If you ever are stretching and you feel something sharp, radiating, really uncomfortable, you need to stop and gently get out of that, okay? We also want to grab our ankles instead of our toes, so we want to pull on our ankles. We want to keep those feet connected and really work on putting all of the pressure evenly here and opening up our hips. Okay? Bring those feet out for cobbler. We're going to have more of a diamond position here. See me kind of rocking back and forth. You always want to get your tailbone centered onto the ground so you can get the deepest stretch. Chest is always lifted. Feet are pressed together. Inhale, bring those arms up. And exhale, forward. Grab the insides of your feet, pulling your torso forward, reaching that forehead to your toes. Some people can just rest their face in that little crook of their feet. That's great. Some of you might be here. This is as far as your lower back will let you go. Just round down and reach these hands out and try to start inching your fingertips out this way so that you get more length. Okay, we want to get our body here in between our legs. Then we can round our spine down. This is hips and our lower back. And come on up. Extend those legs. We're going to do split hamstring on the floor today. I don't do this enough. I think we need to incorporate this back into our yoga routine because this is excellent, especially those of you that struggle with keeping your balance, struggle with keeping your legs straight. Here when we're sitting on the ground, it's much easier to do that. Gives you a little bit more range of motion to play with. Okay? So when our legs are extended, we always want our big toes touching and our feet flexed. Okay? We want to avoid rolling our feet in like this. Okay? That's another byproduct of those high arches and kind of tight ankles. We really want to flatten that out and flex it. Okay? Press those pinky toes out. Okay? Again, make sure your sit bones are connected. Pull that belly button in. Lift up out through the top of your head. Okay? And bring that right heel in. And this can be in any number of positions. It can be here close to your ankle, by your calf. It can be here by your knee, or it can be all the way up as far in to the top of your leg as is comfortable. That's going to depend on your hip flexibility here. But what I'm really focused on is your hamstring flexibility in this leg. So I don't want this one pulled so far up that we're twisting our hips this way and we're not getting the hamstring stretch here. So I like to keep mine in a good neutral position midway. Okay, so I'm still getting a little bit of a hip stretch here, and I'm really focused on this. Keeping that leg straight, toes pointing straight up to the sky. Belly button pulled in. Inhale, bring those arms up, shoulder blades down, always. Nice, flat back. Angling that belly button over your thigh. Okay, grabbing the outsides of your feet. Ball your foot just underneath like your toe pads, bottom of your foot here. It's a good place to grab, nice and strong. Twist your belly button, and then you're actively pulling your torso across your shin, rounding your forehead down toward your shin. Those elbows should be pointing down. So those of you that are extra flexible, you might have forearms, elbows flat on the ground, laying on your thigh. Awesome. Some of you who are a little less flexible might have straight legs, arms here, really struggling to get this far. That's okay. Okay? Some of you guys may not even be able to grab your feet. That's okay. Grab your leg wherever you can, and again, pull that torso down, start inching those fingertips out. Gradually getting farther and farther every time. Okay? Wherever you are is okay, and you're doing work in yourself, just make sure that you're not guarding and making it too easy for yourself. Hamstring stretches are uncomfortable, okay? So you breathe into it to ease that discomfort. Again, not sharp and shooting, just might be a little uncomfortable. Exhale out your nose, sink a little bit deeper, release that tension. And release your hands, sweep those arms up, exhale the middle, and extend that leg. Reach down and grab the other ankle, pull it in, or just pull it up without any help. Make sure this extended leg, toes stay pointed up, foot stays flexed, okay, when it's actively stretching. Inhale up, belly button over our thigh, reaching, grabbing the outsides of our feet, just underneath our toes. Bend those elbows, pull your torso over your thigh, rounding that forehead down. So when we first start this stretch, we want to keep that back nice and flat as we extend out so we get a lower back stretch. And then once we grab our feet and we're extending, we can round a little bit here as we reach that forehead down. So honestly, see, for me, my hamstrings are pretty loose. This doesn't really give me that huge of a stretch, but this bent leg, I'm feeling it in my hip because my hips are super tight. And release those ankles or feet, thighs. Inhale up, exhale to center. Doing pretty good, you guys. I haven't said many weird words, wrong words. You should be proud of me. Okay, legs fully extended, feet are flexed, and big toes are touching. Again, avoiding this, my breaststrokers who have really like ballerina feet turned out, okay? You really want to work on pressing those big toes together, keeping them flat. It helps if you press out through the balls of your feet. So pressing those big toes together and pressing out through the balls of your feet, thinking about kind of curling those toes back towards your shin. That helps keep your feet flat, okay? Belly button pulled in, shoulders back. Inhale up, bend and reach. Grab the outsides of those feet. And I like to press my thumbs at the base of my big toes. That just reinforces keeping those feet flexed. I have high arches and my feet kind of like to roll in, stand on the outsides of my feet, walk on the outsides of my shoes. So really focusing on pressing that thumb into the base of your big toe helps keep those foot flexed. Feet. Forehead to your shins. Not only think about forehead to shins, think about top of head to feet. Nice long, lengthening your torso out the length of your legs. Nice, and release those ankles. Sweep your arms up. Exhale the middle. Nice. Let's do a little spine stretch since we're here on the ground. We bring that right foot over your left knee. Knees heel back towards your rear end. And again, here in this stretch, some of you are going to be more flexible than others. Really want to keep this foot connected to the ground. Sitting up tall, opposite elbow, opposite knee. This arm goes behind us, right by our tailbone, lifting up, out through the top of our head, reaching this hand down and clasping our knee if we can, okay? I can't reach my knee, but I'm reaching for it, pressing, twisting, and looking over that back shoulder as you lift out of the top of your head. As you exhale, look a little bit farther over your shoulder. Think about wringing out a towel and twisting from your belly button. And come back to the center. And let's switch. Go back to your rear end. Flip it over. You really want both of your tailbone to be flat on the ground. Some of us tend to lean over a little bit like this. Again, tighter hips. Just bring this foot out a little bit farther. Okay, that helps us. It's more important for us to be centered in the middle than to be really wrapped and twisted up. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. It's okay if you have to pull it there, push to get it there. Reach around, hand by your rear end, pressing that elbow into your knee, looking over the back shoulder, twisting from your belly button. Exhale and twist a little bit more. Lift up out to the top of your head. And good. Come back to the center. Okay. Let's come back to crisscross. You guys can lotus here if you want as well. Okay. If you're feeling really great, super awesome, you can wrap your legs. This, getting that heel all the way back. This heel all the way here. Okay, we can do any number of those. So keeping those knees together, wrapping those heels back as far as they can go. Lotus or half lotus, or just crisscross. I'm gonna go for the crisscross today. Sitting up nice and tall, we're gonna do seated eagle. And again, when we have our legs in the crisscross, we're really not thinking about our legs much at all. Really focused on our shoulders and the proper posture there, okay? So arms out to the side in a T. You're gonna wrap those arms. If you're in crisscross, it really doesn't matter as much which arm is on the bottom based on your legs. I think just by default, I've got my right foot forward, so I've got my right arm under. Remember, if you are bound with your legs, whichever leg is on top, that arm is the one that is underneath. We really want to focus on getting our elbow pits nice and twisted, fitting that elbow right into the crook of the other elbow pit. Want to press our palms together here. I can't get my palms together, but I've got my fingertips pressing at the base of my thumb, lifting those elbows up to a 90 degree, pulling our shoulder blades back. Feel this stretch at the base of your traps, really down the sides of your shoulder blades, all along kind of between the middle of your spine and your shoulder blades. Maybe even radiating a little bit out the back of your neck, maybe even a little bit more down the middle of your back. And release. Shake it out. If you want to switch, you can. Let's go ahead and do that. Just switch your brain up a little bit. I never cross my legs like this. It feels super weird. Okay. Arms out to the sides. Sit up nice and tall. Cross those arms. Bottom arm is the same as the top leg. Really reaching. It's okay if you're just hanging your fingers on your thumb. If you have to do that, that's okay. Some of you guys have long arms, loose shoulders, and can press those palms together in prayer. That's awesome too. Biggest thing is that we're lifting those elbows up to a 90 degree, away from our chest, keeping those fingertips pointed straight up, shoulder blades down and lifting up out through the top of our head, keeping our chest open, and focusing on breathing through anything that's uncomfortable. And release, and shake it out. Nice. All right, we've gotten to the best part of yoga, Shavasana, corpse. So, remember, lay back,